If he really wanted to go there, he should have sang K. Michelle's Cry. You gonna have to pay me in tears. If he would have sang that, I would have fell out.
Y'all already know what time it is. I got the black V-neck on.
What is going on, you all? Let's talk about it. Let's get into this conversation about Tamar and Funkin' Dineva beefing. Tamar is pushing the beef into the next day by unfollowing Dineva and being shady. Like, these things that you do, even though they don't mean much, the public reception of it keeps the beef going. So Dineva has just done a video talking about he's going to eat Tamar up every time she makes a subliminal post, anything involving the church or verses from the Bible. If it has something to do with me, I'm going to get online and I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to clout chase. And you know what? He has every right to do that. And I actually encourage it. Tamar Braxton has a long history of disposing people, but specifically disposing black gay men. When we talk about Tamar's team is nothing but a bunch of black gays who just want to be around the next celebrity. She uses black gay men. She's been doing it for the longest, going back 10, 13 years ago from the falling out with Kevin and Mikhail over at the Scorpion Show. For those who do not know, the Scorpion Show was this iconic YouTube show that talked about pop culture. They interviewed Lady Gaga. They were influential in the culture, like specifically black gay culture. A lot of us grew up watching them. I was introduced to them later on, but I have a lot of respect for them, what they were doing at the time. And they were cool with Tamar Braxton. They were on one of the episodes of Keeping Up with the Braxton or whatever the hell it was. And Tamar had a relationship with them. Now, Tamar Braxton did not like when they interviewed K. Michelle. Now, remember, her and K. Michelle was beefing. And that's where the iconic, when she said in the studio, not live, K. Michelle made that comment during the interview. And it was so funny. But the interview that they did with K. Michelle was very light. It was very light. It was good. They were not trying to be messy. They were just asking questions. It seemed like they were moving in the way that we don't want to be disrespectful to Tamar Braxton because that's our friend, but we still want to do this interview because this is the work that we do. And this is something that they said. Tamar was not interested in that. Tamar Braxton basically just shaded them, cut them off, and stopped talking. And she was being very petty. Tamar Braxton has a history of this, and people have excused it and said that, well, she's the youngest of all of these girls. Like, that's how it is. Tamar Braxton is a grown woman. She's a full grown woman. She has a child who is like, almost like a teenager at this point. Tamar Braxton has been here long enough that she should not be moving like this. She had a public falling out with Dineva. You could have kept it like, hey, I'm not going to follow you right now because it's going to create more chaos. You and that half apology you released on Instagram stories did not make up for what Dineva experienced. Now, Dineva definitely didn't help the situation by inserting that Instagram story of, I don't know what happened to that lady. I think that rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And he has, for the most part, said and acknowledged that he shouldn't have said that. But Tamar Braxton, seeing everything that's going online, seeing how people are ragging on someone who she considers a friend, like, you just was outside with him. Y'all was wearing whammy, like, for his birthday weekend. And Tamar, you're getting all of the attention. You're seeing the public reaction to folks in the comments saying, girl, what's going on? She was out with Dineva. Like, what's the tea? As a person with a platform and an audience, the same way you're saying how Tamar shouldn't have came in and said whatever she said, you shouldn't have either. Both of y'all have platforms. With great power comes great responsibility. You should have been more responsible. You also should have been responsible to the point that you knew that this is Tamar. You said Tamar is not going to dispose of you like she has done other folks. You have been warned that Tamar is like this. You have agreed that Tamar is like this. You know, at least you are aware that Tamar disposes of folks like this. So I don't know why we are acting shocked. Like, Tamar is completely wrong. She has a history of doing these things. I think for the most part, you thought you were different. Now you have one of Tamar's friends or whatever, Troy, who is inserting himself into it. And I don't blame him either. And saying that, Dineva, you were laughing at me when Tamar outed me. and she wasn't messing with me or whatever, now she's doing you the same way.
Couldn't make this up. So he said I was exiled from the island. Nobody was talking to me. That's what he said back in 2023. And now we're in 2025 and nobody's answering the phone for him.
That's my take on it, is that you thought you were different. You thought that you were not going to get the reaction or the response. You thought that you were different and was giving pick me, if I'm being quite honest. Now, what I do appreciate is Dineva standing on his own and saying, no, you're not going to do me like this. Because Tamar has never dealt with a black gay man who could stand on their own. She likes to befriend the ones that kind of need her. They kind of rely on her social capital. And I think for the most part, Dineva wanted that social capital. He liked being next to her or what have you. You knew that she was like this and you still chose to hang out with her. That's on you. You're a grown man. You should make better judgment decisions when it comes to people that you're hanging out with and things that you are doing. But you made a mistake and now you have to pay for it. And now you're making her pay for it. We all getting paid out here. I don't blame him saying, girl, I'm gonna make $5,000 every time you say something. I'm gonna get online and talk about it. Don't blame him, because Tamar Braxton, as online as she is, she could have said, hey, y'all, that boy ain't got nothing to do with that. Like, the moment folks started to say something, you should have came out and said, hey, why y'all bringing my boy in here? He ain't got nothing to do with this. Like, I'm still trying to figure this out. Both of y'all should have had a conversation. Now, Dineva said he reached out to Tamar and her team, and the team was responded. Like, the team has been reaching out. Dineva, what can we do to clear this up or to clean this up or whatever? This ain't Tamar's team. This is homosexuals who are cool with Tamar Braxton, if I'm being honest. Like, these are folks who just cool with her. Because if this was her team, they would have came in and cleaned this stuff up. They would have took care of this. Like, all of y'all are being unprofessional with as much social capital as all of you all have. This is messy and disgusting, to be quite honest. Like, we're seeing a public falling out with two folks who just hung out, where all it took was a text message or a phone call. Tamar Braxton running online and saying that these things happened to her. You running online and say you don't know what happened to that lady. Both of y'all ran to the internet. Both of y'all ran to the internet. And it's not about being the bigger person. It's about moving in a way that shows you are an adult and you know better. Like, you know better. But knowing better would not be in the same room or next to Tamar Braxton like that. Knowing all of the history of these things. Knowing this. But y'all still chose to hang out and do all this other stuff. You said things about their latest music and the album not being good. Nobody ain't gonna listen to it. I don't see anywhere where a person will still be friends with somebody after they said something like that. I think she was really offended and turned off by that, because she said she spent a lot of money on this project. It's a lot of things going on. And there was something that Dineva wanted to say, but he said he was protecting her even in that moment of why she had to release that music video or that snippet around the time that she did. I'm very curious of what that was. But Tamar Braxton running to the internet, Dineva running to the internet. What does that tell us? Even with our non-celebrity relationships online, like people who we care about, we don't need to run to the internet to have a conversation about our friends. I've had situations like that where a friend disrespected me online and I called them. I said, girl, what's going on? What's the tea? Now, we don't talk no more. And it just is what it is. Like, I still got love and respect for him, but the way he moved, knowing his audience, why would you post that? Why would you respond to me in that type of way? Like, I don't play stuff like that. I don't play those internet type of games. Like, if we are friends and you do something like that, I'm going to be questioning you, because I'm not doing my friends like that. Even if there is a disagreement that I'm having with a mutual, somebody I care about, I'm not going to quote tweet the response on Twitter, because I know it will bring other people into the conversation that don't need to have the conversation. Like, to me, when you quote tweet some shit that's like you putting on the timeline, like you trying to eat somebody up, and you just don't do that to somebody that you care about. And somebody did that to me, and I just was not a fan of it. And we had history too, child, which was kind of crazy, but it is what it is. I'm not sweating my makeup out, but we have to understand that these people are real. And if we are like folks who care about our friends and our relationships, we don't need to be running to social media to have conversations like that. We don't need to be talking to them through social media. Tamar Braxton, when you experience what you experienced, you said it's not a hoax. You said it's not giving. You said you ain't Jussie Smollett. But the girls is calling you Jussie Smollett. They putting pictures of you side by side next to Jussie Smollett. And it's looking like that you did some stuff. You said that you was in the hospital while this was going on. I don't know anybody that is in the hospital healing. You said you can't talk to him. You healing. You in the hospital. Like, what is going on? I just don't get that. I don't get that. To me, and I'm going to be completely honest, if Tamar Braxton was in the hospital and she was going through this, as thirsty as Tamar is for social attention online, she would have posted a picture of a wristband. She would have posted something. You ain't telling me somebody who woke up in this first response is saying, oh, I just woke up in this. Like, girl, are you in a hospital now? Like, what's going on? Like if it's that type of emergency, because especially if you're talking about like a pool of blood, like I can't even imagine. Like I'm thinking about it. And I hit my head before. I've hit my head. I have a scar. Well, I don't know which eye is on, child, but she won one of them eyes. I hit my head while I was having blood drawn some years ago. And the first person I called, like I woke up and I knew, I was like, girl, let me call my mama. Like that's the first person I called. I said, mama, because I want to let my mother know, like, hey, I just had an emergency. I just want to let you know what's going on, da 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 da, and that was it. Girl, I don't think I'll post it until later on. But that's just me. That's just me and my story. Like, I'm not finna be getting online to scare or to like get attention off of that. Like, I just don't see that. But people, that's their go-to. And knowing Tamar's history and also what Funky Dineva said is you go through, you care about what people say about you. We know that Tamar Braxton cares about. We seen her cry about that Muppet comment. We saw that. Like we know about that. But Tamar Braxton, the way you handle this is trashy. And Dineva, how you handle this is trashy. Both of y'all, Captain Trash. Both of y'all are out here beefing publicly off of this. And it doesn't look good for somebody like Tamar who is about to drop an album or something or EP and has all this mess. You could just stop posting, but you can't help yourself. Even in this moment, you can't help yourself. Like, this man has called you. He's texting you, hey, can y'all say anything? You're seeing this discourse. So you saw people tear your friend apart online. You could have said, hey, girl, they just talking. Pay that no mind. Like, pay that no mind. You ain't say none of that. I'll be pissed off too. And if you were pissed off because he responded to it and said, you should have responded and said, I didn't like the fact that you did that. But y'all not moving like adults. Tamar, you're not moving like a grown woman that's about to put out an album. How can we take you serious talking about love and war and all these things? And you right here carrying on in this little petty trauma. It's not making sense to me. Tamar, at this point, just let it go. Like, you said what you have said. You deleted the stuff. Like, just let this blow over at this point. Like, there's no point in responding to this. Offer an apology or a statement or something and saying, hey, I am in the process of healing. I do not like where all this is going. I don't like experience these things. And my apology to Dineva for people thinking, like, come on, give these folks something so they can shut up. Give him something. You saw all of these things transpire and you let it continue on without stepping in and saying, hey, enough is enough. You let people drag somebody who you consider a friend, and it speaks true to your character. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts below in the comments, and I'll talk y'all later. Bye.